No, she did not. That is not what happened.
That is not what happened.
Okay.
What?
Hold on a second.
Give me your contact information right
No,
now.
I'm going to give you time to speak to you.
Hey.
That's what I'm going to do.
We got you.
No.
I got you.
You're
okay.
I don't have to.
You're okay. You're okay. You're gonna be okay.
I'm a federal officer. We're here checking on something. We have the right to check. I'm
Can I
giving
see a
you.
warrant?
I'm not resisting.
Stop resisting.
You harboring rioters in the office. So there's not a problem. Let's walk inside. Let's walk in.
For what?
Let me see what's in there.
Oh, so it's your officer?
Let's go. Come on.
Good evening and welcome to Tyler Carlin tonight. Let's not waste a single heartbeat pretending that everything is normal. Tonight, we're witnessing the federal agents, badges blazing, cuffs clacking, storm a congressional office in Manhattan, slam a young staffer to the floor, and frog march her out like a drug lord. Her crime? Working for Jerry Nadler, a Democrat. That's it, that's the felony. Welcome to Donald Trump's America, everyone. Welcome to 2025, where the Department of Homeland Security has morphed into a taxpayer-funded goon squad weaponized against anyone who registers blue on the color wheel. I don't care if you voted for Jill Stein, Joe Biden, or a jar of peanut butter. If you're anywhere senior progressive legislation, Mike Johnson's House and Trump's DHS have a pair of zip ties with your name on them, and the right-wing core screams, "Law and order!" while polishing their AR-15 lapel pins. Spare me. Law and order is dead in this country, and now they're using selective repression. In fact, this is selective repression. They're not enforcing statutes, they're enforcing fealty. You'll eat what's for dinner and won't ask any questions. Why? Because asking is woke, asking is racist, asking threatens their existence. Shut up and accept it, or you're a bigot against the thin blue flag and law and order. Put this into perspective. The Constitution was forged precisely to stop the executive branch from barging into the legislative branch. George Washington's ghost is spinning like a turbine right now, and even George W. Bush balked when the FBI raided corrupt Democrat Bill Jefferson's freezer full of cash. Republican Speaker Denny Hastert, yes, that Hastert, blew a gasket because he understood the separation of powers. Fast forward to 2025 and Trump's stormtroopers are raiding offices like it's Black Friday at Walmart. That's the new president. If you oppose King Don, expect a home invasion from your friendly neighborhood fascists. Legality? Oh, don't make me laugh. Probable cause must be individualized. You can't just swoop in, say, rioter harboring, and then yank someone off the floor, because that requires evidence, signed warrants, and due process. The trifecta that this regime treats like expired coupons. And yes, the courts will slap them eventually. But the point isn't to win in court. It's to terrify anyone who might blow the whistle before the next power grab. Ask Mark Elias, the election lawyer conservatives love to hate. He's counting 4 recent victims of Trump's iron fist: New York's mayor, a Wisconsin judge, Representative McGuire, and now Nadler's aide. Each arrest wrapped in the flimsy gift paper of immigration enforcement. Let's be clear, these aren't MS-13 kingpins. They're Democrats who stood between Trump and total control. The message is clear. Resist and we'll lock down your door and shove a gun in your face and chalk it up to the Homeland Security. Here's what almost no network crawls are showing you. The booby-trapped legal machinery humming behind that Manhattan raid, a turnkey apparatus engineered to shred the separation of powers the moment a Democrat inhales. First, Secure Chambers Protocol. Section 14 deputizes Capitol Police, yes, the people sworn to guard lawmakers, to assist in apprehending fugitives deemed threats to legislative security. Sounds dull, until you realize it converts the protective detail into a Praetorian Guard that can spin around and cuff the very offices that they're supposed to shield. One signature from DHS and your entire staff meeting turns into a perp walk. The speed and debate clause, oh, they're treating it like expired yogurt. Up next, we've got the e-discovery honeypot. Trump's DHS just plowed $74 million into a Palantir contract to index congressional communications in real time. In other words, every email, every signal ping, every shared Google Doc gets algorithmically heat-scored, hit with a protest propensity of 0.7, and that triggers an engagement review. Fed speak for agents at your door by breakfast. Warrant? Fourth Amendment? Cute concepts. A recent Trump-appointed judge, Barkley versus DHS, greenlit warrantless scans of anyone holding a position of public trust. That umbrella covers every intern, every VA nurse, every city clerk. Patriot 2.0 minus the training wheels. That's basically what it is. And then we've got the election rigging hardware. 17 GOP-run states have bills waiting in the hopper that criminalize obstruction of federal mandate. If a county registrar refuses an ICE data dump of voter rolls, then they face a felony rap and an automatic removal. Combine that with today's shock and awe arrest strategy, and you can thin out swing county officials months before a single vote is cast. It's gerrymandering with handcuffs. That's what it is. Not paranoid enough yet for you? Try geofence arrest zones. DHS drafts reveal plans to blanket so-called anarchist jurisdictions. Portland, Madison, sizable chunks of Manhattan with invisible GPS tripwires. Cross the line during a demonstration, local cops hand you to federal custody. Straight to a Trump-loyal interim U.S. attorney with no bail, no local judge. Operation Legend on Monster Energy Drink, isn't it? And the piece de cruelty is the asylum bait and switch. DHS is yanking humanitarian parole from migrants already vetted, already working, then arresting congressional aides who try to expedite their paperwork, manufacture the backlog, criminalize the backlog, and then cuff the helpers. Bureaucratic arson followed by arson investigator arrests. Orwell would sue for plagiarism. And why lay all this pipe? Because the real coup isn't dudes in buffalo horns, it's paperwork. Once the legal scaffolding is bolted in place, every future strongman just flips the switch and right Vans roll. The morning's office bust wasn't just outlier, it was a proof of concept. Soft fascism doesn't need tanks, just badges, rubber stamps, and an algorithm scoring dissent. So burn this into your civic synapses, because the next raid won't be in Manhattan. It'll be in Des Moines, Tallahassee, or even in your living room when your Facebook PTA post trips the subversive assembly filter. And if we shrug now, the scaffolding stays and the Constitution becomes a museum brochure. So what do? We flood their phone lines, demand the warrant affidavits, the body cam footage, the Section 14 revisions, force sunlight into every legal crevice until the roaches scatter. Because tomorrow, this dragnet will have a new target, and odds are it'll be someone who looks a lot like you. And the irony of it all is that Trump claimed that he'd target the worst of the worst, yet every perp walk features someone whose biggest sin was handing out voter registration forms or adjudicating asylum cases with too much compassion. Meanwhile, Steve Bannon scams MAGA grandmas out of their wall donations and gets a presidential pardon. Corey Mills sells pardons like discount mattresses. January 6th insurrectionists beat cops with flagpoles, and they're back on the streets, waving autograph pens at Mar-a-Lago. Tell me again about equal justice. It's no accident that every high-profile arrest involves immigration. Right-wing strategists know that the fear of the other rallies their base like a dinner bell at a dog kennel. Immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers, easy scapegoats. So DHS agents march into opposition strongholds, drag out the Democrats, and shout "Sanctuary" for the camera. Fox News runs Chirons. Biden ain't caught harboring illegals. Mission accomplished. Distraction deployed. While we fixate on the theatrics, the GOP guts Medicaid for 13.7 million Americans and torches $300 billion in food aid. Slight out of hand, but we see the wires. Remember, none of them have any idea what's going on. They don't. The arresting officers can't cite statutes. They recite slogans. Oh, we have the right to check your office. Check what? Emails? Coffee mugs? This isn't about intimidation, not law. They hide behind shiny badges and hope the legal fog obscures the power grab. And if you call out the abuse, they accuse you of hating law enforcement and hating America and maybe even hating Jesus too. They hide behind the rhetoric, oh, accommodate our government's disability, pretend its gibberish is profound, just like we had to pretend that the White House faith advisor, a televangelist who sells salvation for $99 plus shipping, is a paragon of virtue. Oh, she's so great, we dare say she wasn't! She was ridiculous! And so is this authoritarian cosplay. The real objective is immunity. Trump's cronies want legal immunity to raid, detain, and threaten without consequence. Pam Bondi's DOJ is already dismissing cases against MAGA allies. Kash Patel perched FBI counterintelligence brass the loyalists can investigate Biden's stocks while ignoring Russian cash funneled through crypto. Kristi Noem diverts Homeland Security cyber funds to her red meat border fence and now TV show, and they're gutting the guardrails in real time, daring us to notice. And then here's the kicker. Republicans in Congress cheer now, but a president is a boomerang. Next Democratic president could flip the script, rape Jim Jordan's office, cuff a Freedom Caucus intern, siege Marjorie Taylor Greene's burner phone, and GOP heads would detonate like Mentos in a Diet Coke. But president cuts one way because mainstream media still plays stenographer to right-wing outrage while grading Democrats on a curve. The asymmetry emboldens Trump to escalate. He knows CNN will both sides the hostage video while Fox runs it on a loop. Oh, Nadler ate cries while arrested. Liberal snowflake meltdown. So what do? We refuse to play whack-a-fact. We don't drown in procedural minutiae or whether or not the warrant met for Rule 41 requirements. We zoom out. This is the federal government financed by your tax dollars hunting political opponents. This is the headline. They raided a congressional office to plant a flag. Dissent equals danger. If they can cuff an aide in Manhattan, they can cuff you at your PTA meeting for opposing the book ban. So we fight fire with floodlights. Share the footage. Scream the truth. This is authoritarian retribution in action. Flood the congressional lines, demand hearings, subpoena body cam footage, and blow up every clip across social media until your apolitical cousin asks, wait, they arrested a staffer for doing her job? Public shame is still kryptonite to wannabe despots. And spare a thought for due process, the concept every American has internalized from Law and Order reruns, the presumption of innocence, burden of proof, day in court. These principles pull higher than puppies and ice cream, of course. Trump's thugs are betting we'll ignore that civil muscle memory, so let's flex it until it snaps their handcuffs. Meanwhile, the Democrats, they must weaponize this overreach at the ballot box. The 89-point swing in Brooklyn and the Omaha flip weren't just anomalies. They were pilot episodes. Voters sense abuse of power like smoke before a wildfire. Tie every House Republican to Speaker Mike Johnson's Medicaid guillotine and Trump's DHS stormtroopers. Want your grandma's oxygen tank repossessed? Vote GOP. Want your city councilor arrested for protecting immigrants? Vote for the GOP. It's that stark. But don't get complacent. Authoritarians thrive on fatigue. They pile scandal upon scandal until outrage exhausts itself. That's why we build parallel channels, newsletters, podcasts, and decentralized socials. So when Elon Musk trolls our reach or YouTube demonetizes us for politically sensitive content, the message still flies. They can ban a video, but they can't ban an army of subscribers armed with the hyperlinks. So to the terrified staffers still working late on Capitol Hill, know that millions have your back. And to the mayor in Newark, the judge in Wisconsin, and to the aide in Manhattan, hold that line. Their cuffs are cheap theater, courtrooms still exist, juries still convene, and sunlight remains undefeated. We end where we began, with a government agent squeezing steel around a woman's wrists. That image should haunt every civic class, every church pew, and every family dinner, because if a co-equal branch can be raided at will, what is stopping them from raiding your living room when your tweets contradict the dear leader? Nothing, unless we stop them. So subscribe, share, amplify. They want to censor us, demonetize us, and erase us from the feed. They want an internet of AI sludge and corporate talking points where independent voices die of starvation. And we won't give them that victory. So smash the like and subscribe button like it owes you back pay, ring the bell, join the list, because this is just a show, it's a bulwark, a digital barricade. And tonight, you helped it raise one brick higher. Good night and good trouble.